My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back once again to Transport Fever 2. Now this episode is a bit of a special feature-length episode. That's to commemorate and acknowledge the fact I recently hit, or the channel recently hit, a grand total of 200 subscribers, which is a bit of a milestone, and as a token of my appreciation and my thanks, as I did with RimWorld recently, I wanted to make an extra special episode for Transport Fever 2 for those of you who are obviously here for this series, and I'm making an extra long episode for you guys and girls just to say thank you very much. Your support is greatly appreciated, and as a token of my esteem, here's an extra long episode for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, before we get into the nuts and bolts of today's episode then, I need to action a request that I received in my last Transport Fever 2 video, and that was to rename Train 127, which is the newest train on our Rocky Mountain Railway, to a custom name as requested by a commenter, and that's what we're going to do first of all. Now, the name they have requested for this train is, can we change it here? No, we can't. But the name they have requested is the Spartan. So let's go ahead and modify this train, and we shall call it, as requested, the Spartan. And they have also requested a particular colour standard, so we shall do our best to honour that now. Now, the colour they've requested is green and white, so let's go ahead and put this train together. So we shall have a green locomotive. Do we perhaps want a darker green? Because that's lighter. I think that is the darkest green really that we have. So yes, we'll stick with that one. And then we want 4 passenger wagons. And I think, what are we using? The heavyweight parlours. Okay, so we'll have a green one of those, and then like we did with the Alejandra, we shall add some white into the middle, and I think this time we'll mix up a little bit and we'll alternate green, white, like so. So there we go, that's going to replace train 127. It's only going to cost us £4 million, so that's not too bad at all. So replace that there now, and then here we shall rename it to Spartan. There we go, so that's all 4 trains on the Rocky Mountain Railway now with their own unique name and colour schemes. Let's go ahead and have a look at the Spartan, and in fact we'll use the cockpit camera view for this. Here she comes now, I must say. It's an excellent name. Well done on picking that name. That's a brilliant name. I really like that one. And I also really like the colour scheme as well. I'm not sure if that's the shade of green you wanted. If not, please let me know and I will change it. Likewise, oh my god. There we go. Likewise, if perhaps you had something else in mind when it comes to how to organise the colour scheme, let me know and I will change that as well. But there we go, there is the Spartan, just heading through the tunnel now at Field on the way to Lake Louise. Looking rather excellent, which we can't see it at the moment while it's just bypassing Field. So we'll wait for the train to re-emerge on the other side. Just climb the mountain here over the tunnel, and then we'll get one last look at this beautiful little train before pressing on with the rest of the episode. Here we are now. Magnificent, if I do say so myself. So thank you very much for that name. All names are appreciated, and I do my best to honour any name requests that come in. Oh, there is one more thing I want to do before we get stuck in proper. Now, another comment that I had, and this is another brilliant suggestion, is Steve M4, who is a fairly well-known modeler and modder for Transport Fever 2, has recreated a beautiful version of the Royal Hudson, which is or was a real-life Canadian train, and it's been suggested that we put that onto this map as well, and I think that's a fantastic idea. So I'm going to do that now before we go any further. And I'm thinking we're not going to put it on the intercity shuttle or that one. I am thinking of using it on the Calgary main line, which are these trains here, the yellow trains. How are these trains doing in terms of income? They're not, yeah, they're pretty good, not bad. For an electric train, that's not bad at all. But let's go ahead and manage these trains, and we shall edit them all. So we'll ditch the electric locomotives, and if we go on here now, we should see, here we go, the CP464 Royal Hudson. There's two variants. There's the unbranded version and a branded version, and obviously we're going to go for the Canadian Pacific version of this train. I messed that up because I'm an idiot. Let's try that again. So edit the trains, remove that. There we go. So if we just quickly add the Royal Hudson to all four, and in fact we'll not do the last one yet because here we can do a comparison look. See, it doesn't suffer too badly in this. In fact, it's got a higher top speed. Yes, it's got slower acceleration, but I don't mind that. Do we keep the yellow carriages? Because I don't think changing the colour of the Royal Hudson is something we want to do. And it does look a little bit strange hauling yellow carriages. So perhaps what we'll do as well then is go to passenger wagons here. Just remove them all. And maybe if we can select a different livery. How does the grey look? That looks better, doesn't it? There we go. So let's go ahead and just update the carriages as well. And now for the final one. 83 million. I think it's an investment well worth making. So let's do that now. Oh, listen to that. British Columbia, Canada. Well, you're in Alberta, unfortunately, but I'm sure we can forgo that. That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really like that. Big shout out to Steve M4 for his hard work on that. That's a fantastic, fantastic train. So thank you for that suggestion. That is a really, really, really good suggestion. If you have any other suggestions at all, obviously do let me know. Likewise, if you have any naming suggestions for any of the trains, obviously don't try and rename a train that somebody's already named. That's a bit rude. But yeah, any of the unnamed trains, no matter what it is, it could be something simple like a local shunting service. We could call it Daisy or something, I don't know. Or it could be one of our more prestigious trains, such as the Calgary mainline trains, or even another train onto the Rocky Mountain Railway. You know, there's nothing wrong with adding more trains. Obviously, provided we don't have 400 trains running one line, that might be a bit overkill. So yeah, let me know. Okay, then moving on, let's get started with the episode. So previously, we'd done some work in Cherryville, hadn't we? We got it connected onto the British Columbia Railway, and we'd set up the internal transit system, and we went for a star setup with all the lines emanating from a central point in Cherryville, covering various regions of this small town. Now today, what I think we'll do first of all is, since we have this station here, one thing I did mention last time, when I was building this, was the possibility of then running another local service out into the Rocky Mountains. The towns of, say, Fauquier, Nakusp, New Denver, and Argenta and Caslo. Please correct pronunciation there. I'll go with Caslo for now. If it is incorrect, I do sincerely apologise for that. But yes, I think that's what we'll do now. We'll make a start on that. We might not get the whole thing done because we could do some freight work as well just to mix the episode up a little bit. So the first town to aim for would, in theory, be Fauquier over here on the river. In terms of suitable location for a train station, however, I think we're going to struggle. So perhaps we might be better bypassing this town here and instead heading straight over to Nakusp, where it does seem we've got more area to play with in terms of putting a station down. And then what we can always do is have a ferry service down to the town of Fauquier between these two here, or we could just have a road connection and we could maybe even put a metro line down if we wanted, or we could stick with buses. Just because, like I said, I think trying to squeeze a station in and around here would be rather difficult. So we'll do that for now. We can always revisit the town over there and try again with a train station, for example, but for now we'll just head straight into Nakusp. So let's start by getting a passenger station. How many tracks do we want here? Or rather, how many platforms do we want? I think 2 will be enough. I'm thinking we'll have 2, one for the local line that we're setting up, and then we also have a second platform, which if we do find a way to squeeze a train in here, we could have just a little small branch line over to Fauquier, and that'll just run back and forth between the two as a shuttle service. Doesn't need to be a big station, so 160 metres is probably more than enough. We want high-speed tracks, of course. And as I said, and as we identified, this sort of region here looks like an ideal place to put the station. Obviously that does mean it's an out-of-town station, so we're going to have to do a transit system into the town to get the passengers and the people in and out, but that's okay. And if we just have it there, is as good a place as any. And then obviously the tracks are going to run over the river here. We may, as I said, have one that branches off to the left down to Fauquier, but the main line that we're going to be focusing on today will be running, and I've got my eye on this little valley here, so it would come over the river, climb into the mountains, through this valley, and then we're going to have to tunnel through this little ridge here, enter into this valley, follow the lay of the land, come down, and then circle around Cherryville before heading in. Just to make sure there's nothing better, let's go down this way and see if we could spot a decent way to make the tracks work. So we'd come off this way. Looks like we're going to have an almost immediate tunnel here because the land does rise up quite substantially. But we could come through the tunnel into this valley, for instance, and then if we went off to the right, I mean we could tunnel through all of that, but that seems a little bit too easy or gamey, I think. So I think we'll go for the original idea of making a beeline for this valley, because that also, now that I notice it, does open up the possibility of then having a second branch line that heads up towards Shelter and Galena Bay and connecting into the station here, We haven't done much work in these towns at the moment, so they could do with some love and attention as well. So yeah, we'll do it that way. Let's get our track laying tool here. So first of all, we want to be heading straight. It's already paralleled the tracks for me thanks to the parallel tracks mod, so that's handy. And then you're coming straight across the river. And I think what we'll do is if we just bring that back right to the water's edge, but keep it straight, and I think that is straight, yes. We can then arch the bridge just a little bit, swap it out for an iron bridge for the higher speeds. Let's get rid of that now because we don't know at what point, if we are going to, we don't know what point we are going to branch off down towards Fauquier, so we'll do the tracks manually from here on. But that looks fine. Maybe can we arch it a little more? Because I'm thinking if we do have any services on the river coming down here, we want to give them, while they can navigate this as we can see, it'll look better if the ship masts and radio masts or whatever aren't clipping through the underside of the tunnel. So we'll give it maximum arch, and that doesn't look too bad at all. So there we go with that. We will, I know I just said we wouldn't, but we will double track at least as far as the bridge. And here would be where we would branch off, if we do branch off, down into Fauquier down there. Again, sincere apologies for any butchering of the pronunciation of these town names. Now, where's our valley that we were heading to? Here it is. So I think we can probably curve to the right a little. And we'll do the usual trick here of stretching out the track just to ensure the gradient isn't overly steep. Or in fact, should we just go for an elongated tunnel? How does that look? Does it... I think if we're tunneling, then we may as well go a bit straighter rather than curving to the right. Do I like the idea of such a big tunnel there? I'm not sure that I do, if I'm honest. But I think for now, it'll... yeah, I think we'll do it. We'll go for the large tunnel. So then let's bring the other track alongside. The handy thing about the tunnel is it now leaves us in an almost perfect position to dart straight into the valley without any kinks or curves. So what we'll do, we'll come in like something like that, maybe a bit further over to the right, like that. Iron bridge there for the speed. Likewise, iron bridge here. What would a cutting look like on this tunnel? Nope. Back to the tunnel it is. Yes, that will be fine. It's not the best or the most scenic, but it will do. I mean, the bridges are quite nice, the little viaducts. But the main thing is we've left ourselves in a nice position to circle round into the valley. So the Royal Service Royal Hudson has now been unlocked, which is, one assumes, just a different livery style for the Royal Hudson that we've just had a look at. But for now, let's carry on with this. So again, that's quite a long bridge. I think here we will go for the earthworks. We can use the terrain modification tools to blend it all in a little better. I mean, this bit isn't too bad. It's obviously this sheer bit here that I'm not too happy with, but that's easily fixed. And in fact, just before we forget, while we're in the area, we may as well handle that right now. So it's just a case of smoothing it all out with the blend tool, and that looks a lot better than it did. Just try and eliminate these strange ridge artifacts alongside the tracks. I think that's as good as we're going to get that. And what we'll do, we'll just blend this bit out as well, just so it's a little bit or a little less angular. There we go, that looks a lot better. So right now we're pointing almost directly at Cherryville. Let's decide here and now, do we want to follow the valley off to the right and then back left? Or do we just go straight through and aim for this little sunken area here? I think we'll go straight through. We've got the money, nearly 3 billion, so that's what we'll do here. So where's that little sunken area I was talking about? Off to the left just a little from our perspective. There we go, and what I'll quickly do is get the elevation map out. Here we're at 155, 150. Over here we're at 175, so where this track is rising upwards, that's not something we want. We want it level, if anything, with perhaps 1 step decrease in elevation. And then hopefully that will bring us out nicely. Now that's saying there's a tunnel there. There's clearly not. I'm not sure what's happened there. There we go. So we'll go for that. Oh, bugger. Don't want a stone bridge. It would be nice if you could change the default bridge. And in fact we will just go for earthworks there. Anyway, there's the second track. Again, while we're here, just very quickly, just to remove that angular edge off of that earthworks there. And then carry on. Right, let's see if we got this right. So as we emerge in here, there we go, that's pretty much a bob on. Happy enough with that. There we go, just having a quick look where Cherryville is located from in relation to our current, or our track's current position, just so I know if I'm heading the right way, and we indeed are. So we'll swing out just a touch, aim for this little valley here, I think. Yep. So yes, that's all good so far. And there we go. And then hopefully the rest of this journey should be relatively straightforward. Again, let's swap that out for an earthworks. That way we eke out as much speed as possible from the trains and the tracks. We are pretty much on course. Here we'll just run completely straight, allow our trains to build up a good head of steam there. Although we might have gone a little bit too far, because we do need to curve off to the left in order to hit the station without impacting the town too greatly. So we'll bring that back just a touch and then bring our tracks out to the left. 120 is fine. That's a decent enough speed on the corner. And now I think what we will do here, first of all we'll delete that road, and then we shall bring out these tracks. How would an earthworks look? Oh. Okay, it looks like, in fact we don't want it rising upwards for a start. Because I'm mindful that we've got to get junction work in here as well. But we'll keep it straight, and if this means that we have to have junctions in tunnels, then so be it, but we'll see what we can do. Let's have this as short as possible, 27. Speed is irrelevant, I'm just wanting to get this done before the tunnel. Again, speed irrelevant, that's not the concern here, and we've done it. Okay, that's good. So that's that done. Now we just need to bring this tunnel around and connect it in to our tracks. So it's tunnelled under the majority of the town, and it's got decent enough speed, so I'll accept that, connect that in there as well. So that's the two towns connected via a rail. We do need a diamond out here. So again, speed isn't the issue here. It's getting it in before the bridge, as well as leaving enough room for any potential overhang from our trains so they don't rear end the switches. Okay, so that's not going to work there, so we might just have to stretch it a little further. Hopefully this time, no. I don't know what's going on here. Why it's not allowing this to be constructed, I don't know. We'll try one last time. There we go. That will do very nicely, I think, and I hope. For now, we need to get these signals in. So we'll have obviously one just before the stopping point for the junction. We'll have that one there as a clearing signal of sorts, and then from here on out it's just a case of putting in the blocks along the way. Don't need to overblock this. There's not going to be hundreds of trains running down here, and if we do expand in terms of the amount of trains, then we'll just have to remember to come back down here and add in some extra blocks. But for now we can keep these decently spaced out, which saves time. And it also ensures our trains have nice spacing and they're not all grouped together. So we'll go for one there as well. And if we go for one just by the town of Cherryville here, and then from here we'll just do the clearing signal and the stopping signal there. And then for clearance we'll have one in the tunnel there. And I think that will serve us very nicely. Right then, so we can't put the trains on just yet because this will not have any pickup or generation. So let's get this connected to our town. Do we want a tram network for Nakusp? I'm going to say no. So we'll manually select no for the tram. Large street, perhaps. No, we'll go for a medium street and we'll have no bus lane. They'll have to share here. It's only a small town, so I can't imagine there is too much road traffic in and around here anyway. And then what we'll do, we'll bring this out this way and we'll just have it follow the river's edge. We're going to have to demolish some buildings here to get this connected to the town. And I'm thinking we come out here, which limits our destruction to just one building, which is reasonable enough. It's probably ideal to also upgrade these streets to a higher capacity. Although we can't do this one because of, I guess it's because of the industry there. So we'll do as much as we can. This bit will have to remain the low capacity, low speed road, but that's fine. If that's what we've got to do, then so be it. So that's that road. Could we also, while we're here, bring one out this way around the logging camp here? Just get around there nicely if we can, yes. And then down into this road here. 3 buildings. Can we get 2? Can we no, I don't think so. That'll have to do. Okay, that's that. Now we want to do a bus line or 2. Let's just get up the RCI indicator here, which I believe is this one, yes. So we have residential all around here with some industrial scattered about. We have industrial and commercial. So I think what we'll do, we'll have residential to industrial, residential to commercial, and then I think the train will go train to residential, and then anybody coming to and from work or shopping will have to change at the bus stop in the residential area. So we want bus stops. There we go, bus stop. So I said residential, so here's our residential to industrial line. Come down here into there, and this will just go around here before heading back this way and then looping around there. So that's that one. Our residential to commercial will use these stops here and here and here, but this one will come down this way, and then it can turn around there before heading back. And again, you can share that stop there and there before looping around. And then we want to go to the train station, so we'll go this way this time, just to try and limit the overcrowding on our bus stops. Out this way, and then loop around in the opposite direction. We have the wartime Hudson and the Pittsburgh Metro or Tram. So we'll have a look at those in a moment, but first I want to get these bus lines done properly. So out to the commercial we shall have blue, and this one is coming this way, and it was going along the bottom here before doubling up on its way back and then looping around like that. And this is bus service 01 for, don't tell me, Nakusp. It's on the screen. There we go. New line number 2, industrial, so it can be a yellow, and this was coming this way around. There we go. Just had trouble picking up the icon there because of the nameplate for the town, and that will do for that. And this is bus service Nakusp 02. And then the final one is out to the train station, and we said this one was going the opposite direction, I believe. And this one can be have black, why not? Something different, I think. And then you're coming this way around like that. And this is bus service Nakusp station, I think we'll call it, just so it's clearly identifiable. That's all that done and dusted. We need a bus station or a bus depot. That can go, can we just raise that up? No, we cannot. It'll do. That can go there. Let's buy the vehicles, passenger vehicles. We're still using the Schneider PB2s. We have 3 lines. I think we'll have let's go for 12, which is 4 per line. So the first 4 are blue, and you are on the commercial line. Here's our industrial line, and then the station line. Okay, now we can get the start of this line set up, so let's do that. So we are coming from Cherryville out to Nakusp. What platform have you gone for? I'll say platform 3 actually there. At Nakusp, it doesn't really matter. Platform 2, yeah, that's fine. No, platform 1, station 2. What do we want to call this line? That is a good question. That's a very good question. I'll put a placeholder name in for now. If anybody has any suggestions for a line name, and I'm thinking perhaps, I know, this is what I was going to say. Just as a, is it Hadfield or Hatfield? You know, the ex-astronaut? I think it's Hatfield. we'll just call it the Colonel Hadfield Line. I was thinking famous Canadians from history or present day, being somebody who's had a big interest in astronomy and space travel. Colonel Hadfield was the first one who sprang to my thought. So yes, if you have any alternate suggestions, obviously feel free to let me know. And if I have spelt that name wrong, I will correct it. But I do believe it's Hatfield. So there we go. We need a train for this, obviously. Did we build a depot out here? No, we didn't, did we? Maybe we should do that, just to avoid clogging up our network in other places. Let's get a depot. So we want buildings. Where's the depot? There you are. Where do we want to put it? Could we? No, we could put it out here. It's relatively flat, nothing else going on down here. Let's get the depot there. And then we want to get the tracks. And then one wants to come in there. And one just there. Signals there. And there. And now we can purchase the train. Since we're looking at the train screen, we can look at the different colour schemes, I should say, for the Royal Hudson. Obviously in terms... Oh, that's got higher emission actually, that's interesting. Same speed and whatnot though. That's got lower emission. Yes, we may as well have a quick look at the colours. I don't think we'll use a Royal Hudson on this line. It strikes me as more of a small local line for now. It might prove to be quite busy. So what else could we use? The Zephyr is probably overkill. The M300 is probably underkill. And that's a shunter, we don't want that. The Hiawatha's probably a bit too grandiose. I think we'll stick with the Atlantic for this line. So let's add that locomotive. Wagons. Well, we're limited to 62 miles per hour by the train, so it doesn't really matter on that. So I think we'll go for the higher capacity and the cheaper running costs with the 6-axle passenger car. Nope. No, no, no. I'll sell that in a moment. 60 capacities, probably overkill. Let's go for 40. And to start with, we'll have 2 of them. And it can always be expanded in future. So let's sell that one. These 2 are going on the Colonel Hadfield Line. Away they go. We have seen the Atlantics before, but we'll have another look just as they leave because it's a new train. It's always nice to have a look at the trains. After all, that's why we're all here, I'm sure. Obviously, no slight against bus enthusiasts or plane spotters, of course. But in my mind, Transport Fever 2 has always been about the trains. So that's a new line set up. We'll leave that line there for now and then come back to it perhaps a little bit later on. What we do want to do is have a look at the new trams that we had just unlocked there a few moments ago. So we'll head into Calgary, pick on one of our trams, tram number 10, manage the vehicle, replace all vehicles. So at the minute we run the Peter Witt, 22 miles per hour, 40 kilowatts, 15 kilonewtons, loads 20, 4 times loading speed. Pittsburgh, high capacity, same loading speed, higher emissions, faster, more powerful. Well, that's a no-brainer, and it's still pretty cheap to run compared to some of the vehicles on our network. So we will replace all metros with the PCC 1643 Pittsburgh. So let's filter by vehicle type. That's all of our metros there all together, 74 across the map. Replace Pittsburgh just under 20 million, reasonable enough. And there we go, trams upgraded. Let's go ahead, not do that, let's do that instead. Just take a step back, get a wide angle view. I must say Calgary downtown looks pretty nice right from this perspective. There we go, that's new trams on the map. I think that's the first time we've been able to upgrade the trams in quite a while. One thing we haven't done yet, and we can't do due to no unlocks, is upgrade our buses, and they are looking rather dated. We are in 1940, and well, I suppose they're, yeah, no, they are 1940s-ish, aren't they? It just feels like we've been using these Schneiders for the longest time, and it would be nice to have some new buses in the future. But enough about that. So, Nakusp, you are seeing good pickup on the bus services, which is nice. We also have a few waiting for the Colonel Hadfield Line, which again is nice. I'll remove the grass growth between the tracks off camera. That's not something we want to spend all day doing here. Instead, what we shall do now is take a look at one of these new industries I put down recently off camera. For example, we have food out here, and I believe we have goods out in British Columbia now as well. Yes, here we are at Armstrong Goods Factory, and we also have a food factory out here as well. So let's get one of these connected, I think. That way we can start getting some food into, say, Lumbee and Armstrong, and that way this one here can supply Sorrento, Salmon Arm and Sycamus without causing too much overburden on our system. I believe it's also supplying West Bank and Kelowna, yes it is. So this one will just handle Lumbee and Armstrong, and it might supplement these two towns as well. Let's have a look how we want to get this out here then. So obviously we need a cargo station, that goes without saying. In terms of supply, we could run food in from out here, and in fact this food processing plant here could also supply these two towns. I was just commenting recently how these have had no love and attention for a while. Could also supply Nakusp. I think we'll do that, and yes, we'll do Armstrong and Lumbee from here. Shelter and Galena Bay and Nakusp, and that's then 5 towns, which I believe is a reasonable amount. And then this one here is doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. We're not doing Salmon Arm at the moment, but obviously we can change that in the future. Okay, so if we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, so we want 4 platforms. Obviously these will be supplied by 1 train, so 4 platforms. We want 5, 1 for the food, the wheat, and we'll actually bring in some wheat from out here as well. There are 2 farms here, so there'll be more than enough. The wheat trains, they can probably just share a platform rather than having 1 each. So that's 5 platforms for the station. So let's get that. 320 meters. How does it look? It looks big. Let's have a think. No, yeah, we'll go for 320, why not? Oh my life. This is going to be a bit of a mission. See if we can get it connected in nicely there. Almost. Oh, there you are. A bit closer, a bit closer, a bit closer. There, take it. Before it changes its mind, have it. Okay. Bit of terrain modification here just to hide the worst of it. There we go, that'll do. So, Cherryville West. 1 that way. And obviously we need a cargo station out here. 1, 2, 3 platforms. Where do we want to put the cargo? We could share, but I don't want to have what we had up here where the trains are tripping over each other at the stations. So I might keep them separate this time around. Or we could run it out by road vehicle and use the station at Lumby Quarry. That might be an idea. It would be quite a climb, but we can S-bend the track upwards. And we'd need 2 platforms, one for the food being dropped off onwards to Lumby, and one for the grain being hauled onwards to Cherryville West. So let's do that. Let's do it here. Let's use this one. So, tracks, high speed and catenary. And I think we may as well increase the length of this station. Yeah, and we'll go as far as that. Then we want platforms, cargo platforms. Don't know why I pronounced it like that, cargo. And then over this side, and then we want one more track on the opposite side of this platform as well, and that will be 3 platforms, which is, I think, as many as we're going to need. Tracks again, high speed catenary, all the way down. There we go. So that's the station platform length elongated, which is going to help us in many ways. We're not going to have anything coming from this direction onto this platform, but we'll connect it in anyway. And then you're coming off this way. As we said, this is going to end up being very, very steep. In fact, let's just have a quick look. We are going from 200 to... So we've got to climb about 80 meters. So it is going to be steep. So we're going to need powerful trains here. Otherwise they're going to be too slow on the gradients. Let's go 80. And then we want something like this. Yep. Yes. Something like that. Dual... No, we're going to have a junction in the tunnel, which I never like doing, but needs must. And I think what I might do is even quad track this. And I'll explain why shortly. So this is going to be a very slow train, because of the tightness of these curves here, but also because of how high it's climbing. Look at that, still can't connect in like that. Oh my god, maybe this was a bad idea. We'll give it a go. Yes. So we need... yes. In fact, yeah, we'll have just one line. Not one train, we'll have quite a few trains. Just one line here. Rather than one carrying food and one carrying wheat, we'll just have a mixed train, what carries both food one way, wheat on the way back. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Connect there. Okay. Depot. Again, I'm just going to put down a new depot, just to keep other lines as clear as possible. So it's a good thing then that I did indeed give access from this direction onto the new platforms. There we go. You can have a signal there. We might put a line this way eventually, but for now we don't need one. So yes, you can get in there. You have a diamond there. A few signals. I can't see where the diamond is here now. Oh, there it is. So there, clearing signal there. couple of blocks. Not too many, because it's quite a short track anyway. And then there, and then that can clear as well, why not? That'll do. Okay, so that's ready for a train, but it's not going to have anything to haul. So what we'll do is, well, first of all, we'll upgrade these roads because they're old. So we want country roads medium for the speed boost. Yeah. Obviously, we can't quite squeeze in the mediums around here, so we'll do that instead. I think here we'll have larger capacity. Just reduce the length there by pressing shift. There we go. And then into town. So we want to come here to pick up. We'll just do the wheat for now, the wheat collection, and then we can handle the food delivery a little bit later on. So buildings, truck station. We'll keep you out of town, but ensure you still have a connection. Yes, you do. Don't need trams. We only need one platform here. All you're doing out here is picking up the wheat. The food will be dropped off into town itself. Now I can't get it to connect to the road. That's... oh, nearly I had it then. God, it's... there we go. It looks ridiculous. Can be fixed, so that's fine. So what I'll do what we did last time, where we actually push out the edge like that and give us more room to work with the smoothing tool, like this. There we go, and nobody was none the wiser. So that has pick up there. I'll rename all these. Well, in fact, I'll do it off camera, I think. And then over here, we want 2 platforms this time, because we're going to be dropping off the wheat and having a line that hauls the food. So 2 platforms needed there. So let's first of all get the wheat pickup sorted. And in fact, it's probably a decent idea to bypass the town entirely for these wheat pickups. So let's go something like that. Or could we get it into there? Yeah, we can. It'll remove a building. But since we have a junction here, we may as well expand the existing junction. Obviously, we will get rid of the traffic lights. Any others? Don't think so, apart from the ones out here. Get rid of those. There, so that's bypassing all of this, which is going to help Lumbee no end. Yep, that's doing what it needs to do. And this is our wheat haulage, Lumbee. So let's colour that. Where's it gone? There we are. Wheat haulage Lumbee. 20 seconds max. Just load if available at this point. Load wheat, unload nothing. Lumbee. That's the wrong way round. You're unloading wheat, loading nothing. Lumbee East, you are unloading nothing, loading wheat. That's the way to do it. Again, 10 seconds, no, 20 seconds max. There we go. We have vehicles already, or a vehicle depot already, and we can use the Opel Blitz dump truck. I'm going to say 18, go big or go home. Yeah, we'll go for 18. So that's that. Now we can assign the train line. Lumbee Quarry, Cherryville West, again rename at a later point. And this, as I said, will be mixed consist. So I am not well, obviously we can only load one thing here and unload food. Here we can only load food and unload that, but I'm not going to do full loads or anything like that at this point. I think that's going to work. This will be food, 4 new vehicles, new buses, trains, and the Douglas C49 Skytrain. We'll come back to those in a few moments. Food production, I think, is probably a better description because it's hauling grain and food. Lumbee, Cherryville. There we go. Okay. Now, as I said, we're going to need a beefy bugger for this one. Just have a quick look at these while we're here. They're beefy on the power-ish. Well, perhaps not. Class 9000. It's just, see, it's not going very far, but it is climbing a lot. So maybe we do need the class 9000. It just seems a bit too much. Mikado. It's quite a dip in power. MILW maybe. Yes. And then we want cargo. As discussed, it's going to be mixed consist, so we'll have 120, 240. Yes, 2 of them. Overall length 260, so it fits comfortably onto our stations. Let's see how this is going to do. Food production line. So that should, in theory, now, start generating wheat at Lumbee East. Let's have a look at these trains because these are should look quite beefy. Here comes the first one now. I think this is the first, not thirst. It's not thirsty. It's number 1. This is our first mixed consist train of the series, so here it comes. Yep, gondola and boxcars, and away she goes. Now the other thing we unlocked for the first time in a long time, as we were talking about earlier, is new buses. So very excited by a bus. Don't know why. It's just, like I said, it feels like forever since we've unlocked buses. So let's look at our buses. You're not buses. Replace passenger. So this, I imagine, is going to be quite a leap. 22 miles an hour, 31, 9, 14, a lot more power, and even ever so slightly quieter on the emissions. Right, let's get them out. So bus connect, bus service, whatever. All of the buses here, please. Hopefully I don't balls this up and click outside of these little radial buttons and lose my entire selection. And just to make sure, I'll even do it bit by bit. So that's all of them, and then we'll restart again from Enderby. Very careful to click our little radial buttons here. Again, we'll go to there and then restart. That way, if we do lose our progress by misclicking, doesn't take, oh, it's not going to be too annoying because we had that little checkpoint, if you will. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. So, have we got any wheat over here yet? I'm guessing not, but oh, we do. We have some on the way. Not much production yet. hopefully that will change soon. I am sure that it will. Let's have a look how the Colonel Hadfield is doing. Just wait for it to pop out of the tunnel. Looking very nice. 11 passengers, that's not too bad. For such a small local service, that's not bad at all. How are our buses doing? Well, you're actually profitable. That's very good. You're not, however. Bus service, you're not. So the commercial line is profitable. That's good to see. Right, what did we unlock? Oh yes, we unlocked the Sky Train. Was it the Douglas aircraft? Yes, it was. I'm guessing that's a cargo. Where's the airport? There it is. Yeah, I'm guessing that is a cargo plane. But we will have a quick look. Replace. Yes, it's a cargo. So we can't use that yet. We might do some air cargo at some point, but right now we're not. Okay, so we're getting our first lots of wheat dropped off. That's good to see. Hopefully production will pick up a little more a little later. What we can do now is sort out the bread delivery into Lumby. So buildings, truck unload point, and if you come this way and you can unload the bread, or the food I should say, there, that hits, I believe, yes, that hits all of the commercial buildings in the town. So let's get this set up. So we are coming from Lumby Annex to Jackson Street. 20 seconds. Loading food. There we go. And this is food delivery for Cherryville. There we go. Where's our depot? Here you are. Cargo. All cargo, it's going to have to be this one. I say 8. We'll quickly colour them as well, why not? Food delivery into Lumby. Alright, so now you should start producing some food when you start receiving loads of grain. And that should in turn kick out a little bit more production over here as well. Obviously at the minute the production is quite slow from the farm. It's saying, oh, that's because it's not had a full transport yet, because we haven't had a loaded train yet arrive up here, have we? When our second train here arrives, that should jump up a couple of percentage points. But there we go, that's all looking pretty good, I think. Alright, well, I think it's been around about an hour by this point, and that's what I was aiming for in terms of how long I wanted this episode to be. As I said at the start, that's my way of saying thank you for all your kind support and continuing and ongoing suggestions, comments, and obviously support as well. So I think we'll leave it here. I hope the increased length episode as a special treat is appreciated. Your support is definitely appreciated. That should be Lumby food delivery, not Cherryville. Never mind, I'll change that later. Sorry, miles away. Yes, thank you very much for all of your support, as I was saying, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. As I did say, if you can think of a nice, better, anything, you know, sort of any name for this line, what we could call it, please let me know. That's obviously not to diminish the achievements of Colonel Hadfield, of course. Oh, get a bit seasick. But yes, likewise for our trains. If you have any name suggestions for trains and colour suggestions, let me know. and I will handle that as well. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains for me to say is take very, very good care of yourselves. Thank you very much once again. It's ta-ta for now.